Hello again. Time for another profile of a badass black woman. That all this month we are looking at these women who have just done amazing things and been mostly forgotten by history. And today we're going to talk about Maria Stewart. Just an incredible woman. Let's start with her own writings. She said, "It is not the color of the skin that makes the man or the woman, but the principle formed in the soul. Brilliant wit will shine, come from whence it will, and genius and talent will not hide the brightness of its luster." She also said, "Talk without effort is nothing." Maria Stewart was America's very first female political writer of any race. She's also the first woman to speak publicly in abolitionist meetings of any race. She was born to a free black family in Hartford, Connecticut in 1803. She became orphaned at a very young age, the age of 3, and she went to live in the home of a minister, a white man, and his wife. She worked there as a domestic servant until she was a teenager. And while she was there working for this minister, she became very, very religious. She gave her first speech in 1832 at the age of 29. As far as we know, it was the first speech delivered by any American woman, regardless of race. She had no formal education, but she became the first American woman to speak before a mixed audience of black and white men and women. Also, the first American woman to speak publicly on women's rights and on the abolition of slavery. She published several collections of her lectures. William Lloyd Garrison published them in his newspaper, The Liberator, and she was hired to write for The Liberator in 1831, the year before she began her public speaking. She published 2 full pamphlets. One was demanding autonomy for African Americans. The other was Meditations. It was a series of her writings that touched on a lot of issues like women's rights, civil rights, abolition, the meaning of freedom. She said, "Every man has a right to express his opinion. Many think, because your skins are tinged with a sable hue, that you are an inferior race of beings. It is not the color of skin that makes the man, but it is the principle formed within the soul." She also wrote, "Give the man of color an equal opportunity with the white, from the cradle to manhood and from manhood to the grave, and you will discover the dignified statesman, the man of science, and the philosopher." After 3 years, she was run out of public speaking. Like literally, she got death threats. The people who allowed her to speak were also threatened their safety. So she went on to teach school for years. She was paid 50 cents a month to teach school. She then became the head matron at Freedom's Hospital in D.C. and then went on to have the same role at the medical school of Howard University. She died at 1879. And let's end with a couple more things that she wrote. She said, "There are no chains so galling as the chains of ignorance, no fetters so binding as those that bind the soul and exclude it from the vast field of useful and scientific knowledge. Oh, had I received the advantages of early education, my ideas would, ere now, have expanded far and wide. But alas, I possess nothing but moral capability, no teachings but the teachings of the Holy Spirit." And finally, Maria Stewart wrote, "O ye daughters of Africa, awake, awake, arise. No longer sleep nor slumber, but distinguish yourselves. Show forth to the world that you are endowed with noble and exalted faculties." Maria Stewart, truly a badass black woman. Have a wonderful day, and as always, please be kind.